At LMH, we started life in 2008 as a stock transfer housing association. But we've evolved in the period since to become a much more diverse organisation. This evolution has seen the formation of the LMH Group and the inclusion of a broad range of activities beyond those of a social landlord. Some of these activities will be social by nature, but others will be commercial. Regardless of the activities carried out, the group has an overarching social purpose. It sees itself as a social entrepreneur. In this short video, I'd like to take you through the group's social dividend investment model. This model is at the heart of how the group conducts its business. It's also sufficiently flexible to incorporate a very wide range of activities, whether commercial or social by nature. The group carries out a variety of social activities. LMH is a housing association, and being a social landlord is the primary example of a social activity carried out by the group. The group is expanding, however, to provide a broad range of services previously carried out by other organisations from across the public and voluntary sectors. Examples include the provision of services directly related to housing, such as home improvement agencies or other advisory and support services, but also include community-based services focused at supporting children, families and older or vulnerable people. The group sees the provision of these services as a key means of delivering against its corporate focus on customers and communities. All of these services are based upon sound business plans, which are sustainable over the long term. By outperforming these business plans, additional resources are generated for the group, which are, in turn, available to further the goals and aspirations of the group as a whole. We know the resources generated through this process as social dividend. In addition to resources created through the outperformance of its core social activities, the group has also earmarked specific resources to support its activities as a social entrepreneur. These resources have been hardwired into the business plans of the companies within the group, and they're available year on year. We also regard these resources as social dividend. Whilst always maintaining a concentration upon its core social activities, the group is also constantly looking to diversify its activities in order to broaden its offer. Some of these activities will, inevitably, be of a non-social or commercial nature. A key example of this has been the success of the group's contracting subsidiary, Housing Maintenance Solutions. This business has grown in turnover from approximately £9 million to over £25 million in 3 short years. It's also generating multi-million-pound profits at healthy margins. A further commercial business will also commence trading in the near future, which will operate in the private rented housing sector. This will not, however, be the end of the group's ambitions in this area. To date, all profits made by commercial businesses within the group have been gift-aided to LMH. The resources generated through this gift-aiding process are also known within the group as social dividend. All of the different sources of social dividend are brought together in a corporate fund that can be used to further the goals and aspirations of the group. Collectively, these resources are known as the Social Dividend Investment Fund. There are 3 ways in which this fund is utilised to support the group's goals and aspirations. The first call upon the Social Dividend Investment Fund will always be to meet the reinvestment requirements of the existing businesses. This reinvestment is a key element of the group's focus on viability and strength. There are both tangible and intangible ways in which this reinvestment will be made. For example, tangible reinvestments may be made through the allocation of resources to support new build development programs and new housing supply. Such programs will maximize efficiencies and generate economies of scale within the group, which then help create further social dividend in the future. Intangible reinvestments will include support given to the business plans of existing core activities to absorb changes in their operating environments. Examples may include offsetting the impacts of welfare reform, public sector cuts, or changes to the rent setting formula, but there could be other requirements in the future. A further use of social dividend investment fund resources will be in relation to non-housing social activities. These activities will be of a charitable nature and targeted at supporting neighbourhoods and communities where LMH is the major landlord. The investment in these resources will be a key part of the group's focus on customers and communities. The allocation of these resources will be dependent upon the creation of a sustainable business case for each initiative, but is also likely to relate to a wide range of different activities. These activities may include the provision of leisure services together with services for children and young people, employment initiatives, services for families, and support for older and vulnerable adults. As part of the group's focus on enterprise and growth, investments will be made from the Social Dividend Investment Fund into a range of commercial activities. It's expected that these activities will build upon the group's core competencies, and hence, they're likely to be related to other activities undertaken by the group. An example of this approach is the pending equity investment into a new company within the group, which will operate within the private rented housing sector. The previous equity investment into the group's contracting business, Housing Maintenance Solutions, is a very successful example of this approach. It's essential that the group understands the returns that it achieves from its activities. The group has developed a sophisticated yet simple methodology for establishing the social value from its activities. This definition of social value is based upon what is meaningful to the group and its customers. The approach uses a social return on investment, or SROI calculation, but steers away from the complexities of some similar methodologies. The key for the group is that it has defined for itself what is valuable in this context. Given the breadth of its activities and the fact that some are of a commercial nature, the group also maintains a clear focus upon the financial returns that it generates. This measures the financial returns on investment, or FROI, generated by the group's activities. The combination of social return on investment and financial return on investment made by the group is a key metric of performance for the group and provides an overarching view of the group's total return on investment, or TROI. The creation and use of resources within the fund are central to the operation of the Social Dividend Investment Fund model, but there also needs to be a framework of rules and principles that underpin the model. There are clearly defined design principles for the group's operating model, but these can also be articulated by understanding a few simple and clear rules that are always followed. These rules include being a social entrepreneur, applying commercial principles but maintaining a social ethos, creating an overarching social purpose across the group, recognizing the supremacy of stakeholder value, always safeguarding social housing and other charitable assets, managing risk effectively at all times, providing transparency for stakeholders and the social housing regulator, diversifying the group's offer so it can remain relevant to its communities and provide positive outcomes, being relentless in driving efficiency and providing value for money, and maintaining the supremacy of the operational brands whilst driving efficiencies in operations. A corporate structure has been developed as a framework in which to base the operations of the group. This structure looks to be simple, but also to mitigate risk across the group. It will also ensure that social housing and other charitable assets are suitably safeguarded. Collectively, these companies are known as the LMH family of companies. Liverpool Mutual Homes, or LMH as it's commonly known, is a charitable housing association operating within the Liverpool City region and is also the parent company for the LMH Group. LMH Developments Ltd is a non-charitable development company, delivering new build housing development and major refurbishment projects on behalf of the group. Property Co Limited is due to be incorporated shortly and is a commercial company operating in the private rented housing sector on behalf of the LMH Group. It's expected that profits made by Property Co Limited, other than those required for the ongoing operation of the business, will be gift aided to LMH or other charitable entities within the group. Once specific arrangements have been finalised, Charity Co Limited is expected to be a charitable company, providing a range of services for children and young people, employment initiatives, services for families, and support for older and vulnerable adults. The services provided by Charity Co are also likely to include leisure-related services. Housing Maintenance Solutions Limited, commonly known as HMS, is a commercial company operating on behalf of the group as a repairs, maintenance, construction and facilities management contractor in the housing sector and beyond. HMS has a successful track record and generates significant profits at good margins. Profits made by HMS, other than those required for the ongoing operation of the business, are gift aided to LMH or other charitable entities within the group. I hope this quick tour around the LMH Group's social dividend investment model has been helpful and has given you a general understanding of how the group operates. If you have any queries or would like to work with the LMH Group in delivering its goals and aspirations, please contact us via info@liverpoolmh.co.uk. Other contact details can be found on the LMH website at www.liverpoolmutualhomes.org.